That should have got Ben Simmons.
They tried to. No, I would take Ben Simmons. Look, if you could somehow get Ben Simmons on that team and keep Tatum and Brown, which that wouldn't have been possible. One of them had to be included in the trade.
One of them got to go.
You just replace Marcus Smart with Ben Simmons. The Warriors, the Celtics probably win the championship.
What else is going on in the world, man?
Stephen Curry just won his MVP, man.
He finally won one.
Yeah, finally won one. And, they talking about him moving into the top 10 of all time, which I understand. I get it. I think accomplishments, he's definitely there. I mean, best 3-point shooter ever. He changed the game.
Best shooter ever.
Yep.
Some people think you think he's the best shooter ever?
Yes. No one is shooting at this clip at this rate. He still has a good. Ray Allen took his whole career to get to where he was, right? Stephen Curry still has a good at least 6 or 7 years, bro.
So let me ask you this: it's a shooters league, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he would have been as effective if the trend had been to shoot like this? It's like damn near you have, as soon as you get to the 3-point line, as soon as you cross half court, you got to guard somebody these days.
If he had the freedom to, yes. If not, no, because 10 years ago, the shots he's taking would be considered bad shots, but he's making them. I remember I got taken out of the game, right? We were playing it was a summer league tournament, right, for my AAU team. I remember I got a steal, and mind you, I've been a Stephen Curry fan before he was in the NBA. Like, I loved his game before when he was at Davidson. So this is early. This is Stephen Curry. I think at this point he got drafted 2009. This is the summer of 2009. Summer of 2010. So he's been in the NBA for a year already or whatever. But he was already my favorite player, one of them, before he was who he is. So I remember just stopping. I got a steal, stopped on a fast break, shot a 3 and made it, right? I just stopped at the 3-point line, shot a 3 on a fast break and made the shot. My coach is pissed. I'm like, I made the fucking shot. I made the shot, bro. Like, and then we did it again. I didn't get a steal, but it was another fast break. Hit me in the corner. I hit the 3 again. Stop taking the shot. Stop shooting. I'm like, does it matter if it's going in? But I guarantee you, and I did that 3 times in a row. I made 3 threes in a row on fast breaks, right? I didn't care if he was yelling at me. They were going in. He took me out after the third one, though. And when he took me out, we had a lead by like 8 points. When I put me back in, we were down by 10. So he should have kept me in. But that's neither here or there. What I'm getting to is, if that was me today, it would be fine, right? No one would say anything. It went in. It's not a bad shot if you can make it. Because
the trend is to shoot. Like, the trend is to, now it's fast breaks. It's pass the ball a couple times around, get a rotation, shoot from the 3-point line. That's like the definite trend. Like, shoot first, work something in the paint later. Shooters league.
Yeah, and it depends on the player, because you got players like DeMar DeRozan, Kevin Durant, like, they dominate in the mid range. I mean, Kevin Durant hits threes; he can make threes, but him, Kyrie, DeMar DeRozan, those players, their games in the mid range. Devin Booker, mid range. Chris Paul, mid range. So there's still players out there that play traditional, right? But I think what Stephen Curry has done for the game, like you were saying, earlier on, if he played in a different era, he wouldn't probably has made as many threes as he has because they weren't considered good shots. But do I believe if we put Ray Allen and Reggie Miller in the NBA today in their prime, I still would think Stephen Curry is the better shooter, just because at the rate he's making these shots, it's not like he's shooting at a high percentage, and I think a higher percentage than both of them on way higher volume. So that's insane, bro.
I feel like Reggie Miller and Ray Allen, I feel like they transitioned to like corner shooting from the start of the career to like basically the end of it. Kind of like just taking that role player's role just to be like a spot up shooter versus like going out and scoring, ball handling, taking mid range shots, things like that. I just figured like they just because the thing is, as the game progresses and you get older, you can't move around like you used to. So now you got to be like that quick release shooter.
But if you can shoot, if you can shoot, you can extend your career. I think Curry eventually is going to
be that.
But it's going to be, how old is he right now? What, 31, 32? I think Stephen Curry has, however old he is, I think he has at least 4 more years at this rate, at least. Look at like Chris Paul.
Ball handling, and then going for the shot. Yeah.
Yeah. Look at Chris Paul. I think if Steph Curry continues to take care of himself, I think he got a good 4 or 5 years left, and then another 3 as just a spot-up shooter. I think Stephen Curry might retire at 39, 40 years old. By the end of his career, it depends on when he wants to go out. If he wants to go out on top, he might retire at 36, 37. But I think his last like 2 or 3 years, he could still be on a championship team as a veteran, not getting paid all that money. He's about to sign another extension. He's the highest paid player. I think he's the highest paid player ever right now. The biggest contract ever.
I think he's gonna eventually go to that role player role, though. I mean, as we all seen, like father time, you can't beat him. Eventually, your body's gonna wear down. He's already experienced some injuries. But hey, man, I think he can shoot the hell out of the ball.
The record is shattered, bro. I mean, at the volume people are shooting threes now, I don't know, because if he got another good 7 years in the NBA, I don't know if anyone's going to break this record, bro.
I don't think Clay comes close, huh?
No, Clay's not going to come close because Clay missed 2 seasons.
Yeah, that's true.
He got to catch up 2 seasons. I think James Harden James Harden's on pace to finish as the second most 3-pointers made. So James Harden is the closest. Will be the closest to him. I mean, but we'll see what these young guys do. But like I said, Stephen Curry's shooting at a high volume, at a high rate.
Let's shift off of Stephen Curry and talk about like the Celtics and basically the breakdown of where they kind of like missed some cues during this finals. One thing that really kind of like screamed out to me while they were playing defense is they'd be in zone, right?
Yeah.
They would rotate too much, and eventually they'd come out of zone, and it looked like they'd play like a double team, and then they would overcommit. All the Warriors would have to do is get 1 pass, 2 pass, 3 pass, open shooter, because they're overcommitting, and then out of a zone they'll come out of a double, they leave a guy right open. Yeah, I really don't understand that.
It's not too many players in that team you can leave wide open. I mean,
hell,
I feel comfortable leaving Draymond Green open. If
he's on, like, if he makes it, he makes it. The whole.
Yeah,
he made 1 3 during the whole finals out of 6 games, bro.
If he makes it, he makes it. That's how I feel.
You ain't gonna live or die by that. I mean, if he makes it, he makes it.
But Clay, Steph, Poole, Wiggins, those players, you can't leave them open. And you know what? I know we're talking about the Celtics right now. We gotta give credit to Andrew Wiggins, because this dude was putting his chomps on Jason Tatum.
So
Price.
I forgot what he was averaging, but yeah, he was in some tough situations. He was keeping them in the game with shooting. He was rebounding, defense. He really played to win. So, I mean, shout out to Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah, people got to give him his credit. They were saying he was a bust. My thing is, you number 1 pick. His career average, he's averaged in his career. I think his career average is over 20 points per game. How is that a bust? Just because you were drafted to a bad situation, you're a bust?
I guess it's just not living up to the expectation. Because, I mean, now we're seeing, like, these players averaging. You got to average like between 30 and 35 to be considered like an amazing player.
Yeah, but no one's career average is that high.
Oh no, yeah, no.
Yeah, no one is. I think Shaq's career average is like 23 points. Kobe's career averages is up there, but it's like players, their career averages aren't anything crazy, you know.
I mean, like what Jordan's career average like 30?
Yeah, 30. I don't know who the highest career average is, but it's not that high. I think it's like maybe honestly might be Will Chamberlain. I don't know.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, one season he averaged like 50 points a game.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, on the Celtics though, they're blaming Tatum, which they may have put this superstar tag on him too early. I think he will be a superstar, and I think he's a top 20 player. I mean, top 20, easily a top 20 player. He's a good player. The Warriors. I'm sorry.
So this season he was he was first team All NBA.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing I'd like to, you said All Star?
I said he was also an All Star. Yep.
Well, the other thing I'd like to point out is the thing I noticed earlier on in the series that, and even throughout the whole playoffs with the Celtics, is that Jaylen Brown has to have a good game in order for them to win. Yeah. Like, honestly, I feel like that's the strongest case that I can make.
He's one of the best second options in the NBA.
More, man.
Can't think of too many more. Kyrie. If you talk about second options,
his shooting looks better to me than Jason Tatum's shooting.
It's for the fact that. No, go ahead.
Well, no, it's just like his shot looks a lot smoother than Jason Tatum's. Jason Tatum, whenever he shoots, it's kind of like I'm not gonna say he's afraid to shoot, but it kind of feels like he, maybe looking for a foul before the actual shot. But I might just be mistaken.
Yeah, and this was overall he had a pretty good playoffs. He had 100 turnovers in the playoffs. That's the highest in NBA history. What that means is the Celtics need to get a point guard.
Not Marcus Smart.
They need to get Marcus Smart is a great player. Don't get me wrong. He's an excellent defender, can knock down shots, make some plays, but they need a point guard. Jason Tatum should not be handling the ball that much to where he gets 100 turnovers. That shouldn't just happen. If you got the ball in you, it's like LeBron. I think LeBron leads NBA history in turnovers. Does that mean he turns the ball over all the time? No, he just always has the ball in his hands. Same thing, like Trae Young led the NBA turnovers this year. Does that mean he just makes bad decisions and bad passes? No, he has the ball in his hand all the time.
Yep.
They need to get a point guard.
An actual pure point
Marcus
guard.
Smart.
Yep.
Yeah, Marcus Smart. They might have to move him to the 2. Put Tatum at the 4, Jaylen Brown 3, whoever at the Robert Williams at the 5. But they need to get a real point guard, like somebody that's going to handle the ball, distribute the ball, calm the team down. That's the point guard's job, to be the floor general. It's not just bring the ball up the court, make a few passes. No, get people locked in, keep people engaged. That's what point guards do. So they
point
need
guards
a real
distribute the ball. They facilitate the plays. They do, like you said, floor general. But yeah, I just felt, honestly, when Marcus Smart was bringing up the ball, I was a little surprised. I was like, why Marcus Smart? Like, why decide him be the point guard? But the Celtics don't really have a point guard. They really don't have that position filled.
Man, it's not to take nothing away from Marcus Smart. Not to take away. He excellent player. I think he's better suited as off guard. Because if they had a real point guard, imagine if they had Chris Paul, right? Someone that's going to handle the ball, keep the team engaged, and be a leader. That would help a lot. Look what it did for Devin Booker. Devin Booker went from empty stats guy to MVP caliber player. That just goes to show having a point guard really makes a difference. The Bulls didn't have a point guard last year. Then we got Lonzo Ball. Before he got hurt, the Bulls were the best team in NBA.
I just think of it like if the Celtics did have a point guard, you could have Jaylen Brown off the ball, Jason Tatum off the ball, because there'd be sometimes that one of those two would be bringing it up, and I'm like, why are they bringing it up? Why can't you just have someone bring it up for them, the way they can move around and get a better shot or a better look?
Especially like Jason Tatum's still young. What is he? 23, 24? He's still a young guy. He got a lot of playoff experience, but when you think about it, he's always had a point guard. Teddy, they got rid of Teddy Rozier. They had Kyrie. They had other players that were able to take the ball out of his hands so he can do more off ball, get to his spots, get the ball to him in his spots rather than having to always create for himself. He can create for himself, but who wants to create for themselves all the time?
It takes too much to create for it takes too much to get yourself open and create your own shot sometimes. Exactly. Especially with a lockdown team defensively like the Warriors. Mm-hmm. But one thing I'd like to bring up is, did you see the Celtics defense? Stephen Curry was scared to shoot the ball, and he looked exhausted in those first two games. At least the first game, he looked he looked
game 1 and game 4. Game 1 and game 4 were pretty bad.
Oh, I've never seen him look just like kind of like out of his element in a way.
In his defense, though, I was gonna say in his defense, game 4 he was really just missing shots.
Was it? Yeah, it was a game 4. What game was he didn't make 1-3 in game 5? Right? Was it game 5?
Yeah, it was game 5 when he didn't make 1-3. No, so actually I'm mixed up. It's game 5 I'm talking about. Yeah, it's game 5 I'm talking about. He just was missing. It wasn't like the Celtics were doing anything crazy. He just was missing shots, and that happens to me.
And another thing I appreciate about the Celtics when the defense is the fact they play for at least the first part of that series. They play defense throughout the whole possession. Instead of just, they won't give up on, if someone got past them, they won't give up on, a breakaway play or something. They'll play it out. They'll play it until they get to the cup. So
the Celtics are a good team. They're going to be here for a while. They're young. Their stars are young. Their core is young. They're a really good team. They made it to the finals, took the Warriors 6 games. And most of the time they were playing, I mean, it was really only one blowout? One blowout on the side. I think Celtics blew them out, and then the Warriors blew them out one game. So it wasn't as bad as people are making it seem. The Celtics had a really good chance in this series. Stephen Curry, in the games he was on, he took his game
too many times.
Yeah,
the Celtics turned the ball over.
Yeah.
Way too many damn times. I was like, come on, man. You basically
need a point guard, bro.
And the thing is they turn the ball over. Warriors go score off those turnovers. I'm like, come on, man. Handle the ball better, man.
Mm-hmm. They need a point guard. That's it. I mean, that's what it is, bro. I mean, I'm telling you, if you took Chris Paul off of the Suns and put him on the Celtics, you would see a dramatic difference. That's what a point guard does. They actually wanted Lonzo Ball. I'm glad the Bulls got him. But they are going to be on the market for a point guard this offseason. Trust me. I guarantee it. Some trades are going to happen. They are going to get a point guard somehow, some way.
I should have got Ben Simmons.
They tried to. No, I would take Ben Simmons. Look, if you could somehow get Ben Simmons on that team and keep Tatum and Brown, which that wouldn't have been possible. One of them had to be included in the trade.
One of them got to go.
You just replace Marcus Smart with Ben Simmons. The Warriors, the Celtics probably win the championship.
They'd be bigger. They'd be bigger. I mean, that's the one other thing I said. The Celtics were bigger than the Warriors, and the Warriors played a lot of small ball during some crunch time. But yeah, I could see that if Ben Simmons were on there, they'd definitely help them out. But
the shortest player in their starting lineup would be, if it was Ben Simmons, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Al Horford, and Robert Williams. Their shortest person would be Jaylen Brown at 6'7".
Yeah. Man, that's a big lineup.
And Jaylen Brown, Tatum, and Ben Simmons could defend 1 through 4. If we're being honest, Ben Simmons is a way better defender than Marcus Smart. We just be real. Bro. He's a better defender.
Ben Simmons is an elite defender. He's a big body, big shoulders. I mean, I honestly feel like he could guard. He definitely guard 1 through 4, but he could probably
guard some 5s.
he could give someone at the 5 position at least a little bit run for their money. At least
he can guard pretty much any
down.
5 outside of Embiid and Jokic.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
like he can body up with Towns. He can guard a lot of people. And Bam ain't that big. Vooch from the Bulls, he could do some. He's bigger, so it all depends. But if you got a smaller center or a center that doesn't have a post-up game, Ben Simmons he can guard them. The thing about Ben Simmons, he can do anything, but he can do it. He's elite at everything but shooting. If you really think about it,
I know he's been working on his shot,
but if you really think about it, how can a player take the name, you got an NBA player, right? He's elite at everything but one thing. Would you go on that player on your team if he's elite at everything but one thing?
Yeah, of course, because I could just use the other players. I could just fill in for the skills that he doesn't have.
Exactly.
That's
People,
if I'm the GM, I go, all right, this guy can defend. He can, rebound. He can do all this other stuff. I don't necessarily need the shooting from him. I could just get another player who could fill in that gap.
Surround him with shooting. He just didn't fit well with Embiid. Think about this. He's an elite ball handler, elite rebounder, elite shot blocker,
elite defender.
Elite defender in general, elite passer. He's elite at everything. High IQ, is 6'10", can run like a horse, jump out the gym. He just can't shoot. That's it. If Ben Simmons even can shoot, who's like an average, if he can shoot 33, 34% from 3, he would be one of the best. He would be a top 5 player in the NBA. If he was at least a threat from 3. Not even got to be an elite shooter. If he can knock down open threes, Ben Simmons, I swear to you, he will be a top 5 player in the NBA.
I could see him on probably the second team. I don't know about all NBA first team, but I could see him in the second team.
If he can knock down open threes, what makes him different than Giannis at that point?
I have no idea. I wouldn't even think that much. I'm just thinking of the players we have now.
At guard, so Ben Simmons is a tall guard.
Mm-hmm.
So honestly, if you consider him a guard, there's no guard in NBA that's better defender than him.
No.
And how many guards are really better passers? Yeah, he's a point guard. There's no point guard that's a better defender than him. None.
Yeah, there's no point because there's no point guard as big as him.
Exactly. Exactly. How many point guards are really a better passer than him? Really a better passer. That's not too many.
Chris Paul?
That's what I'm saying. It's not too many, bro. I can't name 5.
Well, if LeBron James was an actual point guard, I mean, but
LeBron, we talking about he's second or depending on who you're talking to, he's the second or first best player ever.
I don't think only better passers is.
It's not too many. Bro.
Chris Paul, yeah. Would you say Lonzo?
Lonzo and Simmons, when it comes to passing, are all neck to neck. And think about this: Lonzo Ball is even considered, even though Lonzo Ball is one of the best defenders in the NBA, one of the best shooters in the NBA, one of the best passers in the NBA, he's not even considered in the top. That's crazy.
I think Russ is a better passer than Lonzo.
Ben Simmons? Oh, than Lonzo?
Yeah.
No. Better passer?
Yeah.
Russ is a better passer than Ben Simmons? No.
I think Russ is the best passer in the game right now.
Yeah, you're trolling. You're trolling. Stop
it. Boy.
You almost had me going there, man. That's funny. But yeah, this is not supposed to be with Ben Simmons. But if you put him on the Celtics, they probably win the finals. They just need a point guard. Shout out to the Warriors. Celtics, hey, you made it there. It's not a guarantee you're going to make it back. It's not even a guarantee for the Warriors because the Clippers are coming back. The Nuggets are coming back. The Lakers are going to make some changes. The Sixers,
the Suns going to make some changes too.
Yeah, the Suns.
The Mavericks, they need to. Huh?
The Mavericks just made a move, man. They got Christian Wood.
The Mavericks need to learn how to not shoot themselves out of the freaking game. How are you going to be up by 20-something points and then you shoot yourself out of the game? That doesn't make any sense to me. You just got to play your game, play defense. Let's start with that. And then just keep scoring and keep your leads.
They have the same issue the Rockets had with James Harden.
Yeah.
You shoot yourself in the foot, literally.
Because you shoot yourself out of the game.
Mm-hmm. You got
what about the Grizzlies, man?
Yeah, shout out to the Grizzlies, bro.
So, just real quick question. Do you think, I wouldn't say regular season wise, but when it comes to like when the game is like obviously on the line, do you think the Grizzlies are better without Ja?
No. They think about this. The Grizzlies, what people don't give enough credit to is the coaches and their coaching.
They're coached well.
They're really coached. They're really well coached in their style of play. Really, it's plug and play with their roster. They're a young, hungry, scrappy team. Ja makes them, when Ja's out, it's going to look crazy. Yeah, they can win games without Ja, but would you rather just not have Ja on your team? Absolutely not. I'm taking Ja.
The dude is athletic as hell. I'm just saying this. When Ja's out, your scoring can come from anywhere. When Ja's in the game, you know who's going to be scoring. You know who's going to be handling the ball a lot of the times. So that makes it easier to defend a certain play.
Yeah, I agree with that. And that's with any. That's almost.
But I'm not going to say that Ja. I'm not going to say the Grizzlies are better without Ja. I'm not saying that. I'm just.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. You're asking a really good question. That's actually a really good question.
Yeah, you need Ja. I love watching that guy play. Shoot.
Yeah, he's a beast. The Warriors. Not the Warriors. The Grizzlies would not. If they had to play without Ja for full season, they would be in the bottom of the bottom of the playoff seeding. Like they'll be 6, 7, 8 seed. Yeah, because you got to also think a lot of teams they were playing weren't healthy. The Nuggets, the Lakers. It was a lot of teams. The Clippers. They were playing a lot of teams throughout that stretch that a lot of players were out. They were playing a lot of teams that players were out with COVID. So you got to. Sometimes people got to put context to it. They're a really good team, really well coached. They got a really good style of basketball. But we also got to remember the context. Like, if they were playing those teams healthy, they would have lost a lot of those games.
Yeah, true.
Not taking nothing from them. They're a pretty good team. I'm excited for their future. They did what I wish the Bulls would have did. Just build through the draft the right players. Don't just draft names. Draft the right players. I
hope Ja stays healthy. I mean, obviously everyone hopes that Ja stays healthy, but man, I can see him first team All NBA, and I could see him hopefully they win championship. But I still feel they need another piece as well. I think they'll get there eventually. Yeah. They're going to make some moves. They're going to make some moves for sure with the maturity, with more playoff experience, with more maturity, just toning things down and playing their game. I feel like they will probably rule the West. You know what the problem is going to be, right? When it's time to get these young players extensions. That's where it always goes wrong. You got a really good young team. Oh, now Ja Morant's eligible for the Supermax. Oh, shit. Now he's making $40 million a year, and I got to fill out the rest of his roster. I can't pay Jaren Jackson. He's going to be expecting a max extension. This person's going to be expecting a max extension. That's where it all gets messed up. That's true, because sometimes it is hard to keep a young player who has a lot of potential. If you're not paying, if they feel like you're not paying them for what they're worth, it is hard to keep that player, especially when they're young. When Curry won his first MVP, he was making $13 million a season. Yeah, and when he won his first finals, he's making about the same amount. That's why the Warriors were able to keep that team together for so long. He got hurt. Remember, he was getting hurt early in his career, and they took a chance on him and said, "Oh, we'll just give you this little contract," and he outplayed it. He won 2 MVPs in a couple finals, and then they gave the max contract and another max contract. So the reason the Warriors were able to stay this good this long is because their superstar player in his second contract wasn't getting paid that much. Yeah. They can afford to be very flexible with their roster. Yeah, and they drafted well, and they moved the right pieces to the. It's like I feel like this Warriors team that they have now is kind of like a
The one
copy of
before
what
the
they had
KD.
when.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's a copy of what
team,
they had when a couple years
Harrison
back.
Barnes. Yep.
Yeah,
Like Harrison Barnes, all them. Yeah. I think Andrew
I feel
Wiggins
like
is a better version
I
of
feel
Harrison
like those
Barnes.
players that they lost, they just replaced them with younger players, kind of like with similar play style. So I feel like nothing really changed.
Plug and play.
Yep,
Plug and play.
plug and play. Except
That's
for
what
like
happens.
Andrew Poole and Andrew Wiggins, I don't know who really. If you look a couple years back, I don't know who would.
I was going to say he's a player that they didn't have before. Somebody come off the bench and drop 30.
Yeah,
like they didn't have that before. I always had a good bench. Like the Barbosa and Livingston and Iguodala could give you 30 points accumulatively, like they together. But they didn't have one player that's
one person.
benching. Yeah.